Welcome back, YouTube. This is COZUN Owen with my brother Billy right here.
That's me.
That's him. And today we're going to be talking about Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. This game was so awesome. I remember when I first bought the PlayStation, I was wanting to buy a PlayStation and a video game, but I didn't have enough money because I had to get the PlayStation and an RF connector because at the time we had a really old TV. But the next week, I bought 2 video games because that's all I had the money for. And that was Project Overkill, which is a bloody fucking awesome game too, and the game which is possibly one of my favorite games of all time on the PS1, Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. Let me get your initial thoughts on Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain.
I thought Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain is possibly one of the best games I've ever played. In fact, it was in my top 10 list for a very long time. It was in my top 5 list for a very long time, and been recently moved down by some other games. The best thing about this game, in my opinion, is that's really hard to like point your finger on.
There's just so many things about this game that's so awesome. You have to understand, this game came out like in the mid-90s and like later mid-90s, but there were like the games that came out before this, like that we were used to, were obviously Super Nintendo games. We didn't even have a Sega Genesis, so we had the Super Nintendo. So we had like the Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda, Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore, Lagoon, Draken, all these great titles. But there was nothing. They were more geared towards younger players, and we were going into our teenagers. And you know, at the time, we thought those games tend to be a little bit more lame. So
a little bit more childish.
Exactly. So after we got the PlayStation,
we wanted blood. I
looked for the 2 bloodiest games and goriest games I could find, and I found them in Project Overkill and Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. This game was just so fucking awesome. I remember like going through the town after you become a vampire, and I like those little pussy Twilight vampires, but like a fucking badass vampire, and just some girl randomly walking this minding her own business, and I take my sword out and I cut the bitch, and then I drink the bitch's
throat.
Exactly, and she's just waving around, and then I press I think it's the X button, and he reaches out his hand and fucking sucks her blood from not even like near her. You know, it just blood flows from the wound in her neck to Kain's mouth. That's fucking awesome. How awesome is that? I remember I used to go around just slicing innocent people, because on the right side of the screen you had your little Kain picture, and on either side of them you had 2 vials. One vial was for the magic, the other one was for your life bar, which was blood. And I used to just like kill innocents and drink their blood, even though I had full health, just to watch the blood come down into the vial and then spill out and overflow. It was the first game that was awesome that I played that was like this, and to me it was just like mind blowing. I was like, there's a game like this out there. This game is fucking awesome.
It was indeed. One of the things that I really remember the most is the voiceovers. The voiceovers were
amazing.
They were amazing, and I remember one in particular. Kain had just got done killing his enemies, and he says, "With my killers dead, my quest was over." And then the guy that brought him back starts speaking to him. "'Tis not over, Kain. These fools were merely the instrument of your demise, not the cause. Look to the pillars, look to the masters, and gain way to the fortress of the mind." The voiceover in this game is
second to none. I mean, this game is probably the best voiceovers that, I mean, there's a few newer games, obviously, that's better than this game now. But at the time, there was nothing even close to it.
Nothing even close. The guy that played Kain's voice was just so dark and gothic, and everything was just so gothic about this game, and it was just bloody, gory, and violence. The spells in this game, just the ways that you can kill people, the spells, your weapons.
The flame sword was awesome.
Flame sword. My favorite was when you had those two axes, I think they were axes, and you would swing around in a circle, and you were like a tornado of destruction. You couldn't really get hit when you were swinging around like that, and you were just killing.
Another thing that really stands out in my mind, and I know you'll remember this when I start talking about it, is the battle. You're on a battlefield with two armies going at it, and you can make your way all the way through it, but not me. I love going through there and just killing as many motherfuckers as I could. I love that scene, and that's like the first time I've ever seen like a large battle take place on a video game, and it was just so awesome.
That was awesome.
And just to move on, because there are other games in the series, like you have Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2. They actually eventually did come out with a Blood Omen 2, which is nowhere near as good as its predecessor. It's a really weak attempt, if anything. And then you have Legacy of Kain Defiance, which out of the 4 ones that came later is probably going to be one of my more favorite ones, because you get to actually play as Kain again, but you get this weird looking Kain that I was never really a big fan of. I love the original Kain concept, and this one I just think it was Idio's way of like trying to take Kain and manipulate it to be something he's not, because it wasn't his character. Well, it wasn't their character. That's what I honestly felt. I never really did like Raziel. He seemed like an emo little bitch to me, but not the badass that Kain was.
He was a lot like Twilight.
Yeah. Little gay Twilight motherfucker. That's where Twilight came from. This is Twilight's grandfather right here.
It looked like he needed a dick in his mouth.
If he had a mouth. That's why Kain ripped his jaw off.
Because he didn't like watching him suck a dick.
That's it. Anyway, that's going to be it for this review. Go ahead, rate, subscribe if you like it. If you hate it, you can leave a comment. But if I don't like it, I'm just going to delete it, so it doesn't matter. But till next time, stay up. Stay gaming.
And if you leave a bad comment, I want to fucking stalk you.
And he's going to drink your blood like Twilight.
Like Twilight. You know.